right, first and foremost, I want to say, call Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua. What I just said is all praises to the Father in the name of the Son. Also want to say Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah. May the Most High in Christ bless. Wa Shalom, which means peace too. So really, what we're getting into today is, like the title says, is Esau going to serve us in the kingdom, or are they going to be destroyed, man? In the Bible, we well, in the Israelite community, we often see them suggesting that Esau have to prepare for servitude to the 12 tribes, but that's just doctrine of Israel. From what I'm seeing, man, I mentioned in a couple videos ago that I was gonna go into this because Sons of Thunder brought it to my attention, and I'm actually leaning towards it. Also, I did say yesterday in the video I did yesterday that I was gonna make that my last video about Esau, but today we see, and again I'm in the subject matter of Esau again. This ain't got nothing to do with Twitter, nothing to do with my YouTube. This is just what came to mind as I was staying in it yesterday or the day before that, whenever I brought it out, and now I'm bringing it out again, or bringing this out initially for the edification purposes of the nation of Israel, man. So we're not gonna see Esau serving us in the kingdom, man. And I'm gonna just go according to the biblical presupposition that we have, and then we're gonna deal with it accordingly. So first off, we're gonna see Genesis 25:23, right? And Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two men or people shall be separated from thy bowels. One people shall be stronger than the other people, right? And the elder shall serve the younger, right? This is where all Israel get the ideology that Esau is set to serve the Israelites, right? Because who came out first? Esau, right? So it's understandable for people to make this assumption, right? But through history and through scriptures, right, we see that this can't be the case according to prophecy, man. So let's go to first what the history is of it. So this is Second Samuel. I got the wrong one in there, right? It's Second Samuel. 2 Samuel 8, verse 14. It reads. Okay, we actually gonna get here and start up at this verse 13. And David got him a name when he returned from smiting of the Syrians, the valley of Salt, being 18,000 men. That's the Assyrians, right? And he put garrisons in Edom. So this is showing that Edom had police officers, garrisons. Actually, let's just go here, right? Garrisons is, in a sense, police officers, right? We're going to get this word out the Hebrew 14, Salaki, right? 14. We just getting garrisons. We not Tasha, or that's Natasayab. Natasayab. So it says garrison officer pillar variant, right? Set over something place, pillar perfect, garrison post, pillar perfect, deputy, right? So a garrison quite literally is a police officer, man, but it's the biblical way of saying a police officer. Here we have garrisons in the hood that's placed by Edom. So here, in this sense, we had garrisons placed in their neighborhoods, placed by David, the king of Israel at the time, man. So we see in verse 14, and he put garrisons in Edom. Throughout all Edom put he garrisons. So this is throughout all the tabernacles of East Edom, man. Edom is the Edomites, man. Esau is Edom, right? We can get that from Genesis 25 or 26 and 1, if I'm not mistaken. It might be somewhere along those chapters, 27, 28, one of those chapters, right? This is showing that Esau is serving the older, man. The elder shall serve the younger. This is what's happening here, man. They was being literally monitored, right, by police officers, man. This is the King David doing that, man. And all they of Edom became David's servants. So all the people of Edom became David's servants. The elder serving the younger, right? And Yahweh preserved David whithersoever he went. So this is one instance of David I meant to swap this third precept I'm about to get with the first one or the second one that I just got, but that's rather here nor there. I'm just now seeing that note. I gotta remember to get that one last. But yeah, that's it, you see that King David had rulership over the Edomites. It ain't no other way to put it that they were already serving the younger man under King David, right? And we're gonna further drive this into the this nail in the coffin, right? With this here. So this is First Kings, chapter 9 and 26. It reads, and King Solomon made a navy of ships in Ezion. Oh no, I didn't mean to get it first. Ezion Geber, right, which is beside Elath, right, on the shore of the Red Sea, and in the land of Edom. So he already had navy ships posted in Edom, man. That means that he had control enough over Edom to just set up navy ships there, man. The Edom was still in possession underneath the time of Solomon, man. Solomon, he was in peace, so of course the Edomites couldn't have reigned over Solomon, you know what I mean? But we see that Solomon still had rule over the Edomites, man. And continue on, it says, and Hiram sent in the navy his servants, shipmen that had knowledge of the sea, with the servants of Solomon. So they were serving them, and they came to Ophir and fetched from thence gold 430 talents and brought them to King Solomon. So we see that Solomon even had rule over the Edomites, man. Right, whether it was them serving him or not, he still ruled over them. Right. So let's go back here. Well, not back here, but to Genesis 27. Right. It might be the last verse, but I'm not looking for the last verse, no. Okay, what I'm looking for is verse 40. It says, so this is Genesis 27:40. It reads, it says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him, and Esau said in his heart, the days of morning, or no, I'm actually starting to far down. It's verse 39. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above, and by the sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So now we're about to see that Esau is about to get that dominion broken off the neck, right? Because we had the yoke on them under the time of King David, Solomon, and it's not really expressed biblically if we had it prior to King David, but there was 18,000 Edomites that died at the hand of David, right? Hold on. Let's get that really quick because before we go any further. 18,000. Second Samuel 8. Oh, it was 13. I already got Second Samuel 8 and 14. I missed the verse. I didn't have that written down though, so you're gonna have to bear with me, right? Let's just get the Second Samuel 8, because it's really verse 13 what I want, but we're gonna get 13. Right, so we see here verse 13, and David got him a name when he returned of smiting the Syrians in the valley of Salt, being 18,000 men. I thought it was something else that said that King David slew 18,000 Edomites. Hold on. Okay. First Chronicles 18:12. See, you gotta actually First Chronicles 18. Wait, hold on. I want it out of there. First Chronicles 18. I want it out of here. First Chronicles 18. First Chronicles 18. Slovakia. First one Chronicles. Because I remember just being what I went over earlier, right? So we're gonna start at actually verse 11, and then also. So this is First Chronicles 18:11. Then also King David dedicated unto Yahweh with the silver and the gold that he brought from all these nations, from Edom and from Moab and from the children of Ammon and from the Philistines and from Amalek. Moreover, Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, right, slew of the Edomites in the valley of Salt, 18,000. So 18,000 had died, right? In verse 13, it says that he put garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants. Thus, Yahweh preserved David whithersoever he went. So, this is literally saying that the Edomites served under King David, man. And they destroyed 18,000 of the Edomites. So, they were under our subjection. So, now when we go back to Genesis 27 and 40, and by the sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off his neck. So they literally broke the yoke off their neck, man, right? And what did they do when they broke the yoke off their neck, right? Let's get this here. So we're gonna get a little bit out of this First Kings 11. We're gonna start at verse 14. And Yahweh stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. I wanted, before we get any further, I want to actually mention an Edomite by name, Doge the Edomite. That shows that they were in subjection unto the Israelites, man. Look up Doeg, Doge the Edomite, and you'll see that they served the Israelites. That's actually what sparked this whole thing, was Doge the Edomite. But Hadad the Edomite, he was of the king's seed in Edom. Right, so he was a higher ranking Edomite, man. Right. So continuing on, for it came to pass when David was in Edom, that Joab, the captain of hosts, was gone up to bury the slain. Right after he had smitten every male in Edom. Right. I'm going down to okay. It says that Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him to go into Egypt, Hadad being yet a little child. So Hadad got out of there at a young age, man. Right? He is quite literally the first instance we see of an Edomite rebellion, right? So continuing on, it says, and they arose out of Midian and came to Paran, and they took men with them out of Paran, and they came to Egypt unto Pharaoh king of Egypt, which gave him an house and appointed him victuals and gave him land. And Hadad found great favor in the sight of Pharaoh, so that he gave him to wife the sister of his own wife, the sister of Tapines the queen, right? So he was so high ranking that Pharaoh gave him his wife's sister, man. And the sister of Tapines bare him Genubah, his son, whom Tapines weaned in Pharaoh's house, and Genubah was in Pharaoh's household among the sons of Pharaoh. And when Hadad heard in Egypt that David slept with his fathers, and that Joab the captain of hosts was dead, Hadad said to Pharaoh, let me depart, that I may go to mine own country. And Pharaoh said to him, but what hast thou lacked with me, that behold, thou seekest to go into thy own country? And he answered, nothing, howbeit let me go in any wise. So he was actually looking to make war, right, with Solomon. This was the route he was trying to take, but Solomon's days were peace. All his days were peace. So we don't have an account of Hadad actually being able to come up against the children of Israel, right? But we do see Hadad setting up his rebellion, man. He's fleeing from the nation of Israel, right, and making counsels with the Egyptians, man, right, trying to figure out how he can come up against the children of Israel. And this is the first instance of Esau breaking the yoke off his neck, man, right, or what it say in verse, breaking his yoke from off his neck, man. This is the first instance we see, and that's going to be the signifying factor that Genesis 27:40 it happened. They were serving the younger, then they broke the yoke off of their neck. We don't see Edom going back into captivity, man. Right? That's not what's the tonality of the Bible, man. I would like to see anything outside of the women, right? I'm not saying that it's not a potential that the women is going to serve us, but that's a small case scenario, man, right? And this is why I say this, right? And if you see where I'm typing in, you should know where I'm going. So this is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 15, and it says, "For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen." So the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. This is showing that in the end times, Esau is quite literally the ambassador, right? Because the day of the Lord is talking about the day of judgment, right? The day of vengeance, the day of wrath. This is what this is talking about, upon all the heathen. So we seeing that, and this here, this is talking about end times, right? And it says, "It shall be done as thou hast done. It shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head." So everything they given, and this fits perfectly in with Babylon the Great's prophecy. And I'm actually going to start getting this more as I go into the Revelation 18s and so on and so forth, man. But as we get into it, we see that their reward shall return upon their own head, man. Right? What is they lot, man? By the sword thou hast lived, man. Right? Ain't that in Genesis 27, right? Esau's blessing, right? And by the sword thou shalt live, right? This is that's part of their blessing, man. Right? Everything they done is going to be done unto them. They live by the sword, they're going to die by the sword, right? And that's as a nation. Sword meaning war, like warlike situation, man. And it says, verse 16, it says, "For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain," the drinking upon the holy mountain is being drunk of the wine of her fornication, or is being filled with the blood of the saints, right? This is what this is talking about, right? And it says, they filled with the blood of the saints, so it says, "So shall all heathen drink continually," meaning that the heathen is going to take Esau out. Right? Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. It says that the Edomites is going to be like they were non-existence before. So we cannot say that there's going to be any remaining of the house of Esau just off of verse 6, man. 16, man. Right? But continuing on, it says, "But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance." So the children of Israel, Mount Zion, and that's why we see here, man, this here, they ain't the Mount of Zion, right? It says, "But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions," not possess them, right? They get their possessions come unto us. That's why we seeing that it's going to be not a servitude type thing, man, right? So we're quite literally saying get ready for captivity to Esau is contrary to the scripture, man, right? The scripture don't suggest that Esau is going to be serving us again, man. Right? Verse 18, it says, "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle on them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh has spoken it." So the house of so we're going to see Yahushai obviously deal with Edom here in America. But the house of Judah and Israel, or Ephraim, right, the northern and southern kingdom is going to come and deal with the rest of the nation of Edom. I actually came to this conclusion. I'm going to do a video of this most likely to Wednesday or probably tomorrow, because it's already on my spirit to do it anyway. But pertaining to that right there. But yeah, man, ain't going to be none remaining of the house of Esau, man. And after Basra, where Yahweh Shai deal with, you're going to see the other nations, man. The other nations come, or not even the other nations, you're going to see the nation of Israel come up against Edom and all the other nations who fight up against Jerusalem, man, come up against Jerusalem, right? So it's possible that children of Israel still get some fighting, man. I'm still bouncing between Ezekiel 38, 39, and other parts of the scripture when it comes to that, man, like at 2nd Esdras 13 too, because it do mention like things like peaceable multitude and so on and so forth, where it says that we gather, man. But even Jeremiah 16:16, what is it? Jeremiah 50:6, or it's 30, something like that. It say that Israel gonna be fighting, man. So we can't get around that, and we just gotta use what the scriptures say, right? And go with it, right? So with this, I'm running with what the scriptures say, and I'm running with some ideas that I've heard from other elders, man, like Yahweh of Sons of Thunder, man, right? This is what actually started this, man. Me hearing it from Yahweh, And then I'm like, that actually do hold a little bit of weight. Let's get in there, man. And it's been like 3 months that this idea or this doctrine, I should say, have been on my mind, man. So I had to further prove it by going into the scriptures. But we see that the house of Esau is going to be devoured, man. It does not say that they're going to be servants, man. Now, some people might go to, what is it? What is it? It's Isaiah 14 to show that. But not only Esau is the oppressor, man, right? It's many oppressors in these last days, and that's what a lot of people are pent up on. They pent up on the one Jewish community or the Saudis, the few Saudis that have some rule and some money, but they not really pent on the nation, the whole nation as a whole, man, right? Not just Amalek, but T-Man, Dedan, right? All these other nations of Edom, man. What is the case for them, man, right? I'm actually going on too much of a tangent. I'm 21 minutes in this video, and I don't have too much more to go, so I'm trying to finish this up, right? I didn't do a swap there. Why didn't I do a swap there? I just hit this one really quick because it does say that I'm bringing 63 down. So let's just get Ezekiel 25. We're going to start at verse 12. It says, let's make sure my internet's still going. It's looking like it's still there. So Ezekiel 25:12, it says, "Thus saith Yahweh, Adonai Yahweh, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance." That's what Edom did, right? "And have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them." Judah, right? Who took the northern kingdom or the southern kingdom? The blacks from Africa, man. Right? They took vengeance against Judah, man. Right? And it says, "And have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, or Adonai Yahweh, I will stretch out my hand upon Edom, right, and will cut off man and beast from it." The Bible says that he's cutting off man and beast from Edom, man. It don't say that they're gonna be living forever, man, or they're gonna come and serve, man. Right? "And I will make it desolate from T-Man, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword." Right? And it says, "And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel." There's what it says, man. Right? "And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh," man. Right? Or saith Adonai Yahweh, man. Right? So we could see that Israel getting that fighting, man. And it say that none gonna be remaining, both man or beast. So where are we getting the idea that this is happening, man? It's not a biblical doctrine that Esau is serving in the kingdom, right? But I don't know everything. It's always a good to if you have any idea of where I lack, bring it to my attention so I don't misspeak on the Bible, obviously, man. Like I started that video yesterday with the comment section of somebody saying that Esau is black. That's out of this world, but I'm going to address it just like that, man. I'll put a video on YouTube, start the YouTube link, go to your channel, go to your comment, and address it. I'm not afraid to be admitting that I'm wrong, right? But we don't see anything outside of the women and potentially the children serving serving us. That's a potential. That ain't even the definitive, right? It's a potential. But the potential there is falls into what is it? Job 27:13, 14, 15. Right? I don't have that written down, but I'm just mentioning it just to give you what I'm getting from that. Right? This is Isaiah 63. "Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save." So some people might say that's the Most High, but who gonna look at the Most High and be able to look upon him? No man was able to look upon the Most High. Simple as that. "Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him treadeth in the wine fat." So we seeing this person coming through Edom, dealing with him, right? This is talking about blood on his garments. That's what we seeing here, man. So this is what we seeing is being done in Edom, right? especially in the nation of Basra, right? The other last verse that we had out of Ezekiel 27 or 25 was specifically talking about dealing in T-Man and D-Dan. This is talking about the land. T-Man and D-Dan is people. The land of Basra it was in Jordan, but now it's no longer there. It's a spiritual Basra, right? Because the Edomites don't dwell in Basra no more, because their blessing was the fatness of the earth, meaning that they will go all throughout the world, man. It says, I have trodden the wine press alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. Come on, man. And for the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and will bring down their strength to the earth. So this is literally talking about Edom getting destroyed, man, out of Basra. So this is not talk about no salvation here, man. This ain't total destruction of Edom, but it's backing up what Obadiah is saying, what Ezekiel is saying, man. There's no justice for them, man. Let's go here. I'm gonna get this last because it's marked last because it's not necessarily a definitive precept dealing with Esau. So we're gonna get it, but we're not gonna say it's definitively talking about Esau. So this is Amos 1:11. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof." Right? The Most High is quite literally saying He ain't turning away the punishment for Esau, man, because he did pursue his brother with the sword. This is exactly what it was talked about, man. Right? In the scriptures, right? And did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, right? And he kept his wrath forever. But I will send fire upon Teman, and which shall devour the places of Basra, right? So this is further proving that Teman, right, and Basra are associated. So Teman and Basra will have to be America, right? But if you want to argue that, I'm not here to argue Teman or Basra, but scripturally speaking, it would have to be, right? From standing on a firm place of the scripture, Teman and Basra are linked. That's what it's saying, right? And then Basra being a place that's going to be devoured is America. America going to be devoured with fire, right? So Teman has to be the Americans, man. Not all of them, but the people of the United States, the white, the Caucasians, right? Through the seed of your father, of course. Let's get this right, and I'm hoping this is edifying, man, because we're not really gonna get too much other of the opposite end of it, man. Right? It's not really too much that shows that Esau is going to be able to serve the children of Israel. We already got the service of Esau with King David, man. So if they're going to have served the younger, that happened under King David. Now, if we're going to go with the understanding that they broke the yoke off of their neck, man, that happened after King Solomon. Started with Hadad, technically under King Solomon. Right, or under King David, because he was still under David's rule. And then he took off from there, man. So they broke the yoke off of their neck already, man. We see this. So the 2 precepts, Ezekiel or Genesis 23, that was a prophecy pertaining to Esau serving as the younger, right? They served the younger already. Then we jump to Genesis 27:40. That was a prophecy about what's going on now. They've already been loose from that yoke, and now they serve the children of Israel serving them ultimately, man. Right, so it ain't no way to get around it. So this is and then when it comes down to it, we would have to go back and show another precept that says that in the end Esau is going to serve Jacob. It's not the case, man. We don't see that in the scriptures expressly mentioned, right? But it may be something that insinuates that, right? So we gotta just get all the middle ground covered. So this is Jeremiah 49:6, and afterward I will bring again the captivity of The children of Ammon, saith Yahweh. Children of Ammon going into captivity. Concerning Edom, though, right? It says, thus saith Yahweh Tazabawa, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan. For I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. So the Most High says he's bringing the calamity upon him, man. Let's get the definition of calamity, right? Out of straight Google, right? Calamity definition, right? Straight off of Google, right? Whoo! An event causing great and often sudden damage or distress. A disaster. You can't get around that one, man. It says that the Most High is, he will bring the calamity. He will bring sudden destruction of Esau upon him. What else was used for that, right? He will bring sudden distress upon Edom, man. He will bring a disaster upon Edom, right? That's what the calamity says, man, right? And it says their own calamity, their own disasters. What do they do, man? Look at who is it? The Jewish man right now, man. Right? Yes, they are Edomites. If you want to argue that, that's a whole nother video. But look at the Jewish man and what they're doing to the Palestinians right now, man. Right? That's calamity, man. Right? They bombing hospitals and churches and schools, man. Where civilians are at, man. They're not fighting a civil war, man, or they're not fighting civilly or according to the rules of war, man. The laws of war, they now doing that. They going for every weak point that they can, man, because they are weak, man. They are calamitous, man, right? They are wicked, evil, man, right? We see this from these people, man. And they went to, like, okay, let's do this, 9/11, man, right? We're going to go there. We're going to touch base on that. 9/11, what happened with 9/11, right? They didn't even get confirmation before they started going into 9/11, or what is that? Iraq, Afghanistan, right? They didn't get confirmation. They just started going there fighting wars, right? And then, 5 years later, we found out it was an inside job. I mean, most of us knew it was an inside job from the beginning. Me, at 9 years old, I had some iffy understanding of 9/11, man. So we could see that this is their own calamity, man. They don't think, they just act, right? Okay, verse 9, it says, if great gatherers come to thee, will not they leave some great gleaning grapes? If these by night they will destroy till they have enough, man. I got to remember this precept, Ezekiel, or Jeremiah 49:9, right? Because this is going directly into the devil came to steal, destroy, and kill, man, right? That's going directly into that, right? But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he will not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. Right? Leave the fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, let thy widows trust in me. Right? For thus saith Yahweh, behold, those whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. So the other nations weren't supposed to drink of the cup, but they all got drunken off the wine. What nation have not partaken in the wrath for fornication, man? Right? And art thou he that shall go up, shall altogether go unpunished? Right? It says, thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. They're going to drink of the cup which they have filled unto you, fill unto them double. That's what that's talking about, man. Right? And it says, and I'm not going to get these precepts. I'm already at 33 minutes, and I'm got a little bit more to go, man. I got this Jeremiah and then 2 more precepts after this, man. So it's not happening, right? And it says, for I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation, right? So when we see Basra quite literally linked to America. It's quite literally a link to Babylon, the great whore, right? And it's quite literally a link to Sodom and Egypt, right? This is all the Basra, man, right? Or America. I already said America, but that's what it's going into, right? And it says that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse. And all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste, right? Perpetual means ongoing or forever, man. It's ongoing. It's never going to end, man, right? And it says, and I have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen. Right? This is literally talking about the same thing, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle. Literally was written in Obadiah, right? And it says, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. Really what it's talking about here, man. Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and thy pride of thine heart, O that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, thou holdest the height of the hill, that thou shouldest make thy nest as an eagle, right? And I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yahweh, man. This is a great verse, man. From I gotta remember this, Jeremiah 49, and I think I started at 6. No, 7. Beautiful, man. But continuing on, it says, okay, so we started there, man. Stop there. So verse 17, and Edom shall be a desolation, right? Desolate, nothing remaining, man. Right? Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, right? And it says, and shall hiss at the plagues thereof, man, burning on forever, man. Right? And it says, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. It's literally talking about America, man, and the judgment. This is literally the same wording, same speech as was spoken of Babylon's destruction. Right? Babylon wasn't destroyed in this manner during the time of Jeremiah or during the time of Isaiah, right? Because before Isaiah, it wasn't even going on, man. Right? So we got to see that this is here is strictly talking about America and even the judgment of Babylon and certain verses talking about America, man. Right? Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan against the inhabitants of the strong, but I will suddenly make him run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, who will appoint me the time? And who is the shepherd that will stand before me? Right. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom, right, and his purposes, that he hath purpose against the inhabitants of Teman, right, Teman and Basra. Right, I said that already. Basra and Teman are mentioned in this scripture. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Right, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Right, it says the earth is moved at the noise of their fall, at their cry the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. So it says, look, it's going to be a great noise, man. Right, behold, he shall come up and fly as an eagle and spread his wings over Basra, and at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs, right? So they're going to be terribly sorrow, man, painful, man. There's going to be a sore destruction, man. Let's go here, Isaiah 34, right? I got one more precept after this. Yeah, I'm almost certain I got all these. Right, so this is the last couple of precepts. It says, this is Isaiah 34 and 5. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Right, Yahweh, the sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh has a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. It's not talking about past Edomites, man. It's talking about future judgment, right? Even here, right? It says, "And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll." This is talking about thermonuclear missiles, because this heavens rolled together as a scroll is talking about a thermonuclear cloud, man, mushroom cloud, man. Let me see. I'm surprised that this thing didn't even pick up my words that I'm speaking into this thing, man. 9 times out of 10, that's what it does, man. But this is what it's talking about when the heavens are rolling. Because when you seeing this, all you're gonna see is this, and then underneath this, if you got the ability to see it from underneath, because after this here happens, all this in this vicinity is gonna be pretty bad. You know what I'm saying? This here is a mountain. You see how high that smoke is, man, and how If that's a mountaintop, you gotta imagine that from here to here have to be probably like a mile or two, man. Right, maybe 2 miles because this here is probably about like a mile high. If not, if it's not a mile high, it's got to be at least 5,000 feet high, man. Not well, not 5,000 because a mile is what? No, yeah. All right, a mile is 18,000 feet if I'm not mistaken, man. Right, so or 18,000 yards or something like that. So this here, man, right? Comparatively, man, this here is gonna be miles high, man. And then this, when it spreads across the heaven, it's gonna look like a roll opening, man. So when it says that the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, right, and all their hosts shall fall down, and a leaf fall from the vine, and as a fig falling from the fig tree. So we can see that it's going to be destruction, man. And we can see that this is talking about an end time because we didn't have that ability or we didn't have those type of things to explain what this was at that time. At that time, we wouldn't have known what the scroll is. So that's why, who is this? Isaiah used words like the heavens shall roll, dissolve as a scroll, man, or the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. Right? That's what it's talking about right there, man. Last precept I got, man. This is just to tie everything together, man, with what Babylon and so on and so forth. So this is Revelation 18 and 10. It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Judgment is talking about Esau, man. Verse 17, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and many as trade by sea stood apart off, man. Verse 19, and they cast dust on their head and cried and weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city, wherein we were made rich, all that had ships and sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she made desolate. We can't get around this, man. I don't think that there's any scriptures that prove that Esau gonna serve us in captivity, man. So I'm gonna stand firm from now forward, going on forward, until someone explain to me that Esau gonna go into servitude. The stance, the doctrine for EGA is definitively Esau is not serving us in captivity. We're not telling Edomites get ready for captivity. We tell the Edomites get ready for destruction, right? Get ready for Yahushai and the vengeance of Yahweh, right? Get ready for the Lord and his angels, pretty much, right? Because we not gonna have to deal with these people in the kingdom, right? There ain't no reason to have to deal with these people in the kingdom, right? And even one more that I could use to suggest, not saying that it is what it is, but this is a suggestion, right? Don't ever say that I definitively. I thought this was the same thing as this. I can get the Apocrypha from here, but I can't get it from here. This is quite literally the same thing. Quite literally the same thing. What's going on here? First Maccabees, second Maccabees, none of that is in there. Well, we just want to get one precept anyway. It's all good. Right, so this second Ezra 69, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Esau's end is our beginning, man. They're ending our beginning, like Genesis say, man. You can't get around most of this, man. I would love to have public discussion or a debate upon this matter here, man, to come to the bottom of it, right? Because I don't want to be bringing out false doctrines, but I'm fully confident in this doctrine here, man. Because I've searched it out all day, man. I searched out this matter all day at work, man. I've been looking for a reasoning as to why Israel or the Israelite community think that Esau gonna serve us, man, in the kingdom. Yes, you would want that to happen, man, right? You would want to get that type of thing to happen, but it's not that case, man. Obadiah 15 is clear, right? The day of the Lord is near, right? So we can't just definitively say that there's gonna be them serving us in the kingdom, man. All the other nations, sure, but Esau, they're done for, man. We don't want to see them on the earth anyway after Yahushua return, man. It was in them from the beginning to do evil, man. Right? So why would we want them to try and learn the laws, statutes, commandments, man. And then the doctrine of Israel is that they're going to be destroyed after 1,000 years, right? Because they get that Gog and Magog out of Revelation 20, I think it is. They get that Gog and Magog rising up after 1,000 years, man. And they insert it as is Esau, man. Not everybody is Esau, right? And not everybody is Gog or Magog either. You feel what I'm saying? Gog and Magog, they got their own nation. Esau got their own nation. So yeah, I'll be more than willing to debate this topic, man, because it's concerning as to why it's such a popularized doctrine in Israel, and why all the camps teaching, yelling out to Esau, get ready for servitude. It's not in the Bible. It's not suggested, right? Elon, right? Yeah, sure. Ishmael, yeah, sure, right? Moab, right? And they ain't gonna technically really be able to serve us how we need them to serve them, but they're gonna serve us nevertheless, man. Right? Canaan ain't gonna serve us, right? They're gonna be a servant of servants, right? And so on and so forth, man. So with that, I want to say shalom. How about Shem Yahshua Barakatah? EGA till we see the day. Kwam Yahshua.